Hello, friends. It's Stamp Ventures with Shauna, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. Welcome to my Tuesday tutorial at 9:33 on Tuesday, May 2nd. I'm half hour late here. Some of you might have caught my little explanation while I was, running to get ready to begin with. I can never do anything too far ahead. And then my son called us from Victoria, from BC. And yeah, we hadn't chatted with him for a while. And so I felt like, yeah, I really have to take that call. I just can't ignore it. And so here I am, half an hour late, but better late than never, I guess. I'm just going to see if I can link up to my iPad here. I think I found it. There we go. Hello. I'm glad you could hop on. I hope you like the funny today. Someone shared this on Facebook and I just thought, oh, it's the best. Now, of course, what happened when I went to print it, the printer said, you are low on blah, blah, blah ink. So we can only print it for you in black and white. But I really only wanted to have 10 plants. I really, really did only want to have 10 plants. But if God wants me to have 20, well, then 40 it is. I know we're just getting to that time of year where all the gardeners are itching to get outside. And yeah, sometimes what just starts out as a little garden project explodes and well, usually in wonderful and beautiful ways, but yeah, we can really get going with something. And yeah, well, when you live in our climate here, it's just so exciting to be able to plant anything really, and to have it grow is somewhat amazing. Look at this. It's the new annual catalog. I'm actually able to open it and show you what's inside of it today. It launched today and almost everything, well, when I checked this morning, almost everything was available for order. Now, I don't know if there's something that all of a sudden they have had a rush on. But yeah, we're starting out with this, and normally I'd share the weather report with you now and then get on to my project, but I'm going to share a few of my favorite pages from the catalog instead. I will mention, though, that the weather here was just spectacular today. I was going to say that the weather is summer-like, but yeah, I'll just say summer-like, or maybe even fake summer, because I'm pretty sure we're going to regress for a bit and get some spring weather again, and we'll cool off. But it got up to, I don't know, 23 degrees or something like that, which I think it's getting close to 80 in the Fahrenheit world. I don't know. I can never remember the conversions, but it was lovely. People were wearing shorts and t-shirts, and boy, we were ready for that today. So I'll just take a look here to see if, oh, let's see. Tracy's there. Hi, Tracy. You made a couple of the cards too that Patti Bennett shared. Yeah, they're fun. They're such a good way to use up the designer series paper. And so I'm going to use some of this paper from the new catalog, but then I'll show you a couple others that I played around with that were from papers using the spring catalog that just finished off the spring mini. So let's dive in. I won't show you every page in the catalog. Oh my gosh, we'd be here till tomorrow, but I'm going to show you just a couple of beautiful things. There's that daisy sweet, and just such amazing colors, because we do have new colors now that have been added to our regular color collections. So first of all, I'm showing you this stamp set, the Circle Sayings, because that's what I'm going to feature in my video tonight. And also when I have my class next week, my card class, we're going to be using this stamp set and the coordinating 2 3/8 inch circle punch. So this one's called Circle Sayings. And yeah, that's what we'll be using. And it's inspired, well, the stamp set was created the inspiration for it was from $1 million sales achiever Jessica Taylor. So yeah, I still have a couple spots left Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon. So if you're interested in joining in for the class next week, you can let me know. Next, I have marked this page. Both of these are brand new sets here. They're so fun. This So Refreshing is got the lemonade theme going. And then there's this one called Super Cool, and it's got all the yummy foods. I'm going to be using this for my class in June. And the reason I picked this is because in June, oftentimes we're trying to get ready for Father's Day. And, well, not every father plays golf and not every father goes fishing. But almost every father likes some form of sweets and foods. So I thought, okay, we'll be able to make maybe 1 or 2 Father's Day cards. And if you want to change it out to be birthday cards, you could do that too. And so that's what we'll be using for June's class. It'll be the second Wednesday evening of June, or the second Thursday afternoon of June. So keep that in mind. Okay, turning on. The paper that I'm going to be using tonight for the 2468 card is on this page, 63, and it's called the Countryside Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. When I ordered it, I just love blue and combinations of blue and sort of the old-fashioned look of that. When I opened it up, I was so surprised to find not only is it floral, but there's little critters in it too. So this one that I'm going to use tonight has little foxes, but then there's ones that have, let's see, that one's just floral, but there's ones that have little bunnies in them. Those would be cute for spring projects. And then there's little birdies. And I did not realize that there were the countryside critters as well as the countryside flowers. So that was page 63. That you can see the big sized picture of this designer series paper. Okay, now I have turned to page 71, and this is one of my favorite bundles in the catalog. It's called Earth and Textures, and I just love the earthy feel of this, and the textured look of the paper, and the textured look of the urns, and the wild grasses, and it kind of looks like wheat. I don't know if it's not really wheat. It's more of a wild grass, foxtail thing or something. I don't know. But that's one of my very favorite bundles, actually sweets, in the whole catalog. And I think there's one more that really caught my eye. I love this inked and tiled stamp set. It's wonderful. I love the paper and the textures that go with it too. And again, the natural sort of sketchy look of it. So those were just a couple of my very favorites. This one's on page 95, and it's called Inked and Tiled. Okay, now what's the next one here? Oh, okay. Colors. Okay, so we have 5 new in colors that will be around for 2 years. Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path. And I feel they really fit well with that earthen theme for both of those sets that I showed you. Earthy and dusky, and I'm excited about those. But if you're more of a vibrant color loving person, then our last year in colors are still around for 1 more year. The Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis are still available too. So we kind of got both sides of the spectrum, the earthy and then the brights. And then within our regular color collections, you can see we've got a returning favorite of Lemon Lime Twist, a brand new color called Azure Afternoon. It really reminds me of the afternoon sky. A returning favorite of Berry Burst, a returning favorite of Misty Moonlight. I was really stoked to see Misty Moonlight come back. Misty Moonlight is in some of these papers here in the Countryside Inn paper. I think that's it sort of in the background there. A brand new color, pecan pie. Some people say pecan, some people say pecan. How do you say it? I think this kind of replaced our soft suede. I have to say I was a little bit choked to say goodbye to soft suede. I guess I'll have to give pecan pie a try, and hopefully I'll like it. I just haven't worked with it yet. Finally, we've got a returning favorite of Pretty Peacock, a returning favorite of Blueberry Bushel, brand new color Lemon Lolly. And I have to say, I was kind of glad to say goodbye to So Saffron, because it had had its day and I just was never using it. It just wasn't appealing to me lately. A returning favorite of Lost Lagoon, returning favorite of Fresh Freesia. So glad that came back because I use it so much. And a new color, nice light pink bubble bath. We really needed a bubble bath. I can't tell you how much we needed a bubble bath. Okay, so carrying on. In case you're wondering where all the pretty papers are, they're 130 to 133. And earlier this morning, quite early, I placed the order for the designer paper shares, and all those spots got filled. I still do have a couple of in color spots left, or one anyways, because, well, I would take that spot if nobody else wanted it, because I like all these in colors. But if somebody wants to claim it, they can. You'd get a quarter of a package of this DSP assortment paper. You get a quarter of a package of the, where are they? Quarter of a package of these in color dots. They're sort of glossy, nice glossy dots. Actually, I think it's a fifth of a package because it's hard to split that into a quarter. A fifth of the package of the dots, and then a quarter of each spool of ribbon, of this textured ribbon. So that would be like 2.5 meters of each color: Wild Wheat, Copper Clay, Moody Mauve, Boho Blue, Pebbled Path. And a quarter of a package of the in color jute. I'm trying to think. It's a ribbon, the jute. Oh, there's one more thing. On the specialty papers page, not the designer papers, but the specialty papers, there are what's called luster papers. And you'd also get a quarter of a pack of the luster specialty paper in each of those new in colors. So let me know if you want that last spot. Finally, there's all kinds of wonderful, just super wonderful dies, but I was quite excited to see these ones, these nested essentials. There's a few different shapes, especially this one here. I kind of like that shape, and that there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different sizes in it. So I'll stop there because I could go on and on. So many wonderful new things in the catalog. If you haven't got a copy yet, please be in touch and I'll try and get one out to you. And we're going to get on to making the 2468 card. Okay, just taking a peek here, see who has been able to join us. Oh, Inez, hope yours arrives soon. Yeah. Oh, you love the wild wheat. Okay, yeah, that's, I mean, us prairie girls, that's perfect for us. And oddly, the bunny is, oh, you're finding it's closer to Seaside Spray. Yeah, some of the colors, what they take and is they mute them down. It's still the essence of the colors that are listed on the package, but they dilute them with a little bit of white. So the main colors that they used to make this designer series paper were Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy. And there will be some varying tones of those. And tonight I'm going to use this paper with the fox just because I thought it was so cute. Like I said, I thought I was just going to be getting all kinds of flowery things, and then a fox showed up in there. So I'm going to cut this. So I've got a strip that's 5 1/4 inches tall and is 12 inches wide. So there's my 5 1/4. And that's going to be the main part of the card. There will be a base that I cut from thick cardstock, but this is the main thing that I'm going to be working with. That's kind of going to be a feature. And I should mention this card that I'm making tonight is super easy. I think you could like dress it up incredibly. You could do all kinds of cool things with it, but I'm just kind of starting with a basic warm-up card. And then, yeah, you can do so much more once you get going. To do the 2, 4, 6, 8 folds on it, I'm going to pull in my my Simply Scored tool. The reason I like the Simply Scored tool is that I'm going to be making scores at 2, 4, 6, and 8, 4 different places where I'm going to be scoring. And if I use this scoring blade here, I'm going to have to keep moving my paper over. Move it to 2, score, move it to 4, score, move it to 6, score, move it to 8. So it's just constantly having to move the paper and lift the guide and all that. So with the Simply Scored tool, I can just put my paper up into the corner, and then I'm going to use the larger tip of the stylus so it doesn't pierce through the Designer Series paper, which is a little bit thinner. I'm going to score at 2, I'm going to score at 4, and I'll score at 6 and at 8. And there we go. That's all the scoring that you do for this particular card. And now I've got my thick basic white, and I need a piece to be the very back, the base of the card. So I would like it to be 5 1/2. I'll have to do it this way. And I'm using the thick basic white just to give it a little bit more sturdiness. 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So it's at exactly 1/4 of the sheet of cardstock. Now, let's see here. I'm going to do a little bit of folding. So I've got this piece scored 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to fold here, cover up the little foxes, and then I'm going to fold back again and just keep doing the accordion like this and like that. There we go. And the basic idea is this is going to get glued onto the base, the white base. I think I'm going to do that right now. And then I'm going to be gluing some pieces in here. So there's creating a little bit of a book with just a couple of shallow pages. So glue this centered on the white card base. Ooh, that's close to the edge. I didn't leave myself much to hold on to there. Okay, I'll hold it with the other hand maybe. And I like the liquid glue here because this is going to give me a chance to, just realized my light has turned in a wonky direction there. That'll help give me a little bit more light. There we go. And that'll help me to see if I'm somewhat centered. Okay, so I'm going to take this first fold and unfold it and put a little bit of glue. Ooh. A little bit might be all I get. I'm starting to come down to the end. There we go. I'm going to glue that so that this is folded and glued together. And then I'm going to do that same thing with the next fold. So all these little, I think they're tiny, tiny, tiny little flowers on the B side of this paper. Those teeny tiny little flowers are going to get hidden. And so I'm going to say, farewell, adios. Sorry to see you go, little flowers, but we're going to make the foxes the focus of this card. Now, that glue is getting very annoying. So I think I'm going to go grab another full glue just because this is going to be so annoying watching me trying to get the glue out. I'll be back in, I don't know, about 8-10 seconds. Okay, that was more like 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. But I've got a new glue and this will be not so annoying. Did anybody else besides me stock up on the liquid glue before the old catalog ended? It's gone up in price a bit, and yeah, it was just really it used to be $5.50. It was such a good deal. So I may have bought a few. I think there's probably, there may be a back order on situation on the liquid glue for a little while. But I've got some, I'm allowed to cash and carry liquid glue. So I've got some here, and I will pass my savings on to you while my old stock lasts. Okay. So, next. For this, okay, so I've glued those panels down and it's created this little mini book. It's not a full book, but there's 2 pages that are half sized and then the full end piece of the book. And what Patti did is she created little pieces, little circular tags that attached to the pages of the book. And so this is the circular tags are where I'm going to bring in the circle sayings. But that being said, I don't think you necessarily have to use circles, because I was thinking you could probably pull in little tags like this and glue a tag there so it opens, and then glue another tag here so that opens. And yeah, so I'm going to use circles today, but you might come up with some cool variations for this style of card. And I pulled out my Night of Navy ink and my Balmy Blue. Oftentimes I'll say, okay, stamp first and then punch out. But this time I think I'm going to punch first and then stamp. And I've got some scraps of my thick basic white. I would suggest, because these pieces that, these little circular tags along the edge of the card, they're going to be like pages that you fold and turn. You might want to use the thick cardstock for this. It will just make it a little bit more durable. And I'll punch out a few circles, because if something goes awry with one, I'll have another one or so. Okay, I can get 3 out of here. It looks like I could get 4, but actually you probably can't see it in the video. In my scrap bin, there is a score line there, and I don't want a score line running through my circles. So there, I'm going to work with 2. I might need a 3rd just in case. So my first thought was, okay, I wanted to see if I could use this flower, this arch of flowers, to create like a whole wreath. Does it have to be just a bow, a half circle, or could it be a full wreath? So I'm going to pull out the Balmy Blue here and see if I can make this work. Oh, I feel like I'm all all disorganized here, trying to fit too many things on the workspace. Okay, so I'm inking that up, and I should be able to, I'm going to stamp close to me, because stamping close to me allows me to see a little bit better what I'm doing. When I'm stamping further away, I can't tell where the edge is at. Okay, so that fits really, really nicely along the circle like that. So now I'm going to turn it like that, and I'll see if I can make this be like a full, I love wreaths. They're just so cheery, and I don't know, there's something about them. There. And it does. It can make pretty much a full wreath with this bow here. So it's not just a single bow. It can be the full circular wreath. And I think I've seen people too. There have been lots of people sharing ideas for this stamp set already, because this is one that demonstrators were allowed to pre-order the month before the catalog started live. And some people actually took and fussy cut around it and then added it to the bottom of the circle, so it was more like a bow, and that was really pretty too. Okay, so I'm going to take some words. I've got the warm hello here. Actually, well, no, I'll stick with warm hello. I was going to say maybe I'll do thank you, but that's okay. And I'll use the Night of Navy just to give a little bit of contrast for the words. I have this feeling that the words are gonna, they're gonna overlap just a little bit with the flowers, but that's okay. It just gives a little bit more interest to it. So there's the warm hello and my full wreath. Now I'm going to stamp this second circle. I think I'll only need two unless I make a boo-boo. And what did I decide? Oh, okay. I've pulled the sending you a. And this should line up with the top of the circle. And yeah, I like how they made this stamp set photopolymer so you could see if the top of the arch fits right along the curve of the circle. And then I'm going to use these flowers again, and I'll do along the bottom here so it doesn't look too boring or bare at the bottom of the circle. And what are we sending you? Well, we are sending you a smile. Okay, so now I'm going to put the card together. And like I said, this is going to be pretty simple, but I think there are lots of ways that it could be decorated up. And then I'll show you another couple that I made earlier just to give you a few more ideas and ways you can go about doing or go about creating this kind of card. So I'm going to take and I'm going to glue this. Actually, I'm just trying to decide, do I want this one at the top? I might do it this way. Okay, warm hello is going to go on the front, and it's going to be attached to this first half page here. So I'm going to put glue just on this half only. Oh, gotta get my new one running here. Thought I was going to save time by getting a brand new glue. That was... And I think, you could glue the circle exactly in the middle, so it's about the same amount of distance away from the right and left edge of the card. Or you could possibly glue it out a little bit more to the right, but I'm just going to go for about half. Okay. And then this next circle, I think, well, no, I'm going to go, I'm going to glue it just underneath here. You're only going to see part of it. So they know that it's the recipient who gets this card knows that it says something, but they don't know quite exactly what until you open the book. And so I'm going to put a little bit more glue on the left-hand side of the circle. And I'm going to set it down, but I know I'm going to be wiggling it around a bit because I want it so that those edges are approximately the same width, yeah, about there from the right hand side of the card. And I might adjust it just a little bit. So there, that it's up and down. There we go. Okay, now, so there's the first flap of the card. Open it up. Warm hello, sending you a smile. And now, ooh, I got a little bit of extra glue there that I, help. It's okay. I've got a glue remover here. This one I need to wait till it dries a little bit before I can remove that. You can get these glue adhesive glue or adhesive erasers in some of the dollar stores. It just gums it up and lifts it off. They're the best thing since sliced bread. So I need a place to write on the inside. And like originally I wondered if there was some way of putting like a full half sheet of cardstock in here. Okay, this isn't a half sheet. This is, or a full half sheet, a full quarter sheet, not a full, you know what I mean, a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece. And I must have one here. Here we go. I usually have some handy. That's not, oh, it's not 5 1/4 by 4. What you need if you wanted it, the quarter inch, it's 5 by 3 3/4. But okay, here's the thing. You will get this color showing here. And if you're writing in it and you get carried away, you might write out to the edge, and then when they see the front of the card, they'll see the writing on the edges, which to some people is a no big deal. To me, it's like, oh no, I have to make the writing inside and tuck it in and make it look neat. And so my idea was to take some of these tags, tailored tags, I think they're called. And I found that this one with the kind of the squared off top is a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. It gives you a bit more room to write a message. So I'm going to grab one of these that are already cut out. And I'm just realizing that's got a green tab at the top. I think I would go in after and maybe change the color of the tab. I think I would glue a different color over top of that. Now what have I got on there? Okay, there we go. Something else that's kind of, so I'm going to glue that in there and have a little place to write my message. And because it's keeping it with, you know, that in that spot to write, you won't see the words sticking out that way. Now, the only other thought that I had, and I'm going to grab my balmy blue. Okay, so nope, that's pool party. I've slightly adjusted my cardstock here for the new colors, and yeah, I just got to make sure that this is the right size. I was grabbing the wrong blue. It'll take a few times to get my colors looking first, so I'm looking in the right shelf for the color that I want. Okay, so now I've got, this is balmy blue, and I've cut it to 5 by 3 3/4. That was the size of this white, but the white just looked maybe a little pasty and off. I was thinking, okay, I could glue that there, and then that, and then there would be a little bit of contrast when this closes. So something like that. Okay, now I'm to the point where I can't make a decision because I've been thinking about this card too much. And so you folks who are watching, maybe you could leave a message, leave a comment, and tell me if you think I should make this 2468 card, this little book card, with the balmy blue layer, so it will open like this, and there's the place to write, or without the balmy blue layer. So it'll still open. There'll still be a place to write. There just won't be this extra bit of balmy blue, but you will see some more cute foxes. So I'm just going to give you a second there. Put in the comments with balmy blue or without, and give me an idea from your bird's eye view from where you're watching. So warm hello, sending you a smile. And the neat thing about these, you can put other little things, little critters, little messages in the different parts of the book. And then, like I said, still have a place to write here. So I see a few people that their messages are coming through, and I'll just show it to you once again. There's always a delay. It's like, I don't know, about 20 seconds or so. So that's with the balmy blue. Opening it up, or this is without the balmy blue. And I will go in and I will fix that so that tab is balmy blue and it's, you know, all coordinated. And so I'm just going to take a look here. Okay. Sue says with. Glenda says with. And Inez says without. So it sounds like the withs have it tonight. So I'll go with that for now. And I do have a couple more that I've made here that I'll show you. And I did not put the extra layer in the other samples. So there are some without too. Ooh, come on. It's like it's a little gooey. I wonder if this one kind of got a little bit frozen or something. Frozen in the truck on the way to Saskatchewan in the cold. Okay, so I'm going to stop with this card here. I'm not going to add any more things to it. I'm still thinking about embellishments. I have to go through and see what I've got. I'll just glue this part in for now. And so there we go. And our circle saying card warm hello, sending you a smile. And there's the place to write. And that's still a little bit tacky, but I will get that glue off with my adhesive remover in a minute. Okay, so now I made a couple. This first one is very simple too. What I did was I pulled out, remember I have done these paper shares, and everybody gets like a quarter of every piece of paper in the designer paper packages. And so you get lots of 12-inch long pieces. You get lots of 6x6 too. You get lots of 12-inch long pieces, which works really, really well for this kind of 2, 4, 6, 8 card. So you just need the 12-inch length. You just cut it down to 5 1/4 instead of the 6-inch width that it is. And this paper that I found was from this spring mini catalog here. It's right at the beginning, the Country Floral Lane. So there it is with the hearts and the leaves. And I just turned it over to the other side because I wanted this to be a birthday card. Now, the only thing about getting your paper in a package like this from me is that you don't have the insert that comes with the original packaging telling you what all the colors are. So my recommendation is, if you participate in any paper shares of any kind or product shares, keep the catalog that features that paper so that you can go in and remember and see, oh yes, that red was sweet sorbet. Oh right, that blue was balmy blue. That will help you to know what colors to coordinate with the paper. I've just found that having this catalog, it really helped me. So here it is. This is going to be a birthday card. I think it's going to be for my son's girlfriend. We're hoping to see them later in May. Celebrate today, even though her birthday was in April. And we open it up and it says smile. And there's the cupcake. It's been colored with, I think it's the light sweet sorbet. And then I used some Wink of Stella to glitter up the icing and use some of my crumb cake Stampin' Blends to color the cake part and the cupcake liner. And then in the inside, happy birthday with a little bit of the baker's twine and some of those the matte dots. So still pretty simple, but jazzed up just a little bit. And I think like I could still even put more things in there too. And who knows, maybe I could put a couple more matte dots. I'm still thinking about it, but easy, just the paper, the designer paper does all the work for you in these cards. That it's really, you know, the stamping is not hard. It's not really difficult, you know, it's just basic stamping and some coloring, and but all the pretty paper brings it together. So my last one, I'm not really sure if I like it, but I pulled out a piece of paper that was from this Enjoy the Journey that has the mountains on it and the different vistas. And again, I thought about my son and his girlfriend who live out in Victoria where there are mountains, and there's also ocean. So I used circle sayings here, and I did the thinking of you. So there's the thinking of you. I did it twice. And then the word today. And then I pulled out the sun rays and used, you know, stamped on either side of today. And then you can open it up and see a bit more of the mountains. And then not only are there mountains, but there we go. There's the ocean too. I'm not sure about the coloring on. I'll tell you how I did this coloring in a minute. And then you open it up the last time, and there's the rest of the mountain and the tag where you could write the message. And again, I might go in and maybe make a little baker's twine bow, and maybe I could put a smile here. I don't know. I'm still thinking on some of these, but I'll explain how I did the coloring for this image. So I stamped it twice, once on the circle, and I stamped it once on a scrap piece of white cardstock. And then the scrap piece of white cardstock, I cut it apart to separate the sun from the waves. And so then I covered up the waves like this, and I used a sponge dauber and pumpkin pie, and I daubed mainly in the center of the sun, daubed a few times, spreading that bright orange around, and then I did a little bit out like that, but I didn't re-ink it when I was doing the sun's rays. I just used kind of what residual color there was left. And then I also took my Wink of Stella and sparkled up the sun, and I also did some extensions of the rays, not a whole solid coloring, but just lines through the rays to add some sparkle there. Then the other piece that I cut away from, I covered up like that so that only the water was visible. And I dipped, you know what I mean? I dipped one of these baby blending brushes into the starry sky, and I softly, I make sure you pounce off the excessing, and then I just softly colored with this the starry sky blue, and that's how I got those colors. And yeah, there we go. That's my BC card. It's got mountains and ocean. Thinking of you today. Sun and ocean and mountains and more mountains. So that was the fun that I had with the 2468 card. Like I said, I'm still getting kind of used to this. Like it's a kind of a different layout, and trying to figure out where you want to put where to put the embellishments and stuff is always, you know, tricky, but this is what I came up with to start with, and I love that I'm using my paper, and then it's showing it off in a really nice way. So thanks so much for joining me for my late video, and thank you to Patti Bennett for sharing this card idea with us demonstrators. As demonstrators, we have a cool Facebook page that we can go to called Demonstrator Planning Place, and You know, there's hundreds of new ideas that get shared every day, and this was just one of them. And if you have any interest in becoming a demonstrator member for a while, please be in touch with me. I'd help you as best I can to get your customizable kit, which is only $135, and you get a chance to to experience some of the benefits of the special Facebook pages, the chance to order a month early and a month earlier, or an extra month for celebration. So there's some good things that come with, some good perks that come with being a demonstrator. So thanks again for joining me tonight. Hopefully I'll be back again next Tuesday. If you have any questions, or if you're wanting to come to my class next week, please be in touch. Look forward to seeing some of you then. Talk to you later.